Last bill?
Okay, Mr. Dolly, thank you.
Second. Would you like to close?
Yes, I would. I actually would very much. This is on water, energy, and climate nexus, and we all get that really important. And we've got people in the energy world, the water world, and a lot of other people that want to come up with innovative solutions to water conservation and climate pollution at the same time. Ask for your I vote. Is that quick enough?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jonathan Clay on behalf of the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. We'll keep it short. We are in support and seeking amendments. We appreciate all the work of the author.
Danielle Blassa with California Municipal Utilities Association, also in support of the bill. We appreciate the Senator's leadership on this important issue. And just really quickly, SB 471 provides two really important tools for the water sector to continue reducing our water, energy, and carbon footprints. It provides a new data collection through a study of water-related data or energy use, and it also provides an innovative program to secure new and exciting water projects that can help reduce the state's GHG emissions, and we really urge an I vote today.
Thank you.
I'm Juliette Christian Smith with the Union of Concerned Scientists in strong support of SB 471. There are over 7,000 water and wastewater utilities in California that use electricity to pump and treat and transport water. That's using around 20% of our state's electricity, and needs are growing. Despite this, there's very little uniform or reliable information on how much electricity is used in the water sector and what sources of energy might be used for projected growth and demand. So SB 471 will move us in the direction of getting much better information on greenhouse gas emissions in the water sector, and provides incentives for the water sector to develop cleaner and more efficient energy sources, which seems very apropos given the approach to map out deeper emissions reductions that we've been discussing here today. So the Union of Concerned Scientists thanks Senator Pavley for authoring this bill, and we respectfully request your aye vote.
Mr. Chairman, members, David Jones on behalf of Pasadena Water and Power in strong support. Thank the author.
Thank you.
Steve Wallach on behalf of the Ventura County Board of Supervisors, also in support.
Mr. Chair, Mark Fenstermaker on behalf of the Sonoma County Water Agency in support.
Kim Steiner on behalf of the U.S. Green Building Council of California in strong support. Thank you.
Kyle Jones with Sierra Club California in support.
Andrew Grinberg, Clean Water Action in support.
Kelly Dunn on behalf of California League of Conservation Voters in support.
Mary Solecki, Environmental Entrepreneurs in support.
Rosanna Carvacho here on behalf of Southern California Edison, also in support. Thank you.
Any opposition? Any tweeners? To the committee, we have a motion and a second. Do pass as amended? The author took the amendments, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
And if I didn't, I do.
Thank you.
I would be glad to take the amendments and ask for your aye vote. And 20% of all the energy we use is moving and treating water. And if we can get this right, not only does it open up potential for greenhouse gas emission reduction funds for regional solutions to water supply and delivery, but a lot of other good outcomes as well. Ask for your aye vote. We've got to get the data right and get the study going.
Thank you, Senator. Please call the roll.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dally?
Aye.
Dally, aye. Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Rendon? Stone? Aye. Stone, aye. Wood? 7 aye.
7 aye votes. Mr. Wachowski.
Move the bill.
I'll second that.
Are there any questions that I can answer for members of the committee?
Any questions from the committee? No questions. Okay. Witnesses in support?
Go ahead.
Bruce Reardon consulted in the Bay Area for the last 10 years on climate strategies, working with local governments, foundations, and others here in support of the bill.
Vanessa Hina with KP Public Affairs on behalf of the Mosquito and Vector Control Association of California here in support.
Thanks, Bruce.
Kyle Jones with Sierra Club California in support.
You can hit that button.
Think. Kelly Doe on behalf of California League of Conservation Voters in support.
Brendan Tuig on behalf of the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District in support.
Bill McGavin with the Coalition for Clean Air in support.
Alex Loon with the Nature Conservancy in support. Also here on behalf of the Local Government Commission and Climate Resolve, both in support.
Adam Coten on behalf of the California Climate and Agriculture Network in support.
Juan Altamirano on behalf of Audubon California in support.
Witnesses in opposition? Seeing none. Questions, comments from the committee? Seeing none, the chair's recommendation is aye. There's a motion and a second for due pass to appropriations. Please call the roll.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dally?
Aye.
Dally, aye. Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper?
No.
Harper, no. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Rendon? Stone? Aye. Stone, aye. Wood?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator. We are looking for Senators Pavley, Bell, Leyva. Yes, you can move to consent.
What's on consent? 734.
It is item 14, Senate Bill 734 by De Leon.
Is that really a consent calendar when it's one item?
Yeah, one item.
Would you rather hear it? Good point.
Well, there may be some ones we add. It is up to the Republicans.
I don't object.
If you wish to add one to the consent calendar, it is technically not too late to do so.
Maybe SB 398.
I defer to the Vice Chair.
SB 398.
SCR 71.
SCR 71, both of them.
71.
So we can't take ones with amendments, but which one?
What about SCR 71?
As amendments.
As amendments, SB 398 as amendments too?
231. The Labor Bill 398 does not have amendments.
I move it.
You want to put that on the consent?
Oh, yeah. You guys are good.
Did you say 231 as well?
Are you guys good?
I think it's 231 as well.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Look at that.
So there is you're good.
Tell me the bills first. 231. 231. And 398. Yeah. Rocket.
So we are changing the consent calendar to include 398, Senate Bill 398 by Leyva, Senate Bill 734 by De Leon,
And Senate Bill 231 by Gaines.
and Senate Bill 231 by Gaines. Is there a motion on the consent calendar? There's a motion by Dolly, second by Garcia. Please call the roll.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dally?
Aye.
Dally, aye. Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Rendon? Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Wood?
Okay, so we did 10, 14, 231.
No, not Stone. Wood.
Here we go.
Senator Bell?
Okay. You guys been busy today, haven't you? Yeah, I know. I'll be quick. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be quick. I'm here to present SB 9. Thank you, Senator Stone. I'm presenting SB 9, a multi-year funding for transit projects. That's the subject of this bill. First, I'd like to accept the amendment suggested in the committee analysis as proposed in the term, defining the term transformative, and also adding the word congestion, because when we talk about what we're doing, we're talking about eliminating congestion. I would also like to continue working on the definition to add a link between transit and sustainable communities, because that's what this is all about. So, SB 9 provides a multi-year planning and allocation process under the Transit and Intercity Rail Capital Program administered by the California Department of Transportation. This process is utilized by the federal government and is called the Full Funding Grant Agreements, which they have had for several decades, and is a common for a variety of other transportation programs. Projects that would likely be granted funding under this program require a multi-year effort and the level of financial certainty for transit operators to plan. So this allows a multi-year planning approach to building projects. I've been involved in building transit projects for 30 years. The one infuriating thing is how many segments are we going to have for the transit projects, right? There's all these little segments. Why not plan the point A to point B and get it done at once? So plan the whole thing. So SB 9 addresses this need, and the bill has had bipartisan support so far. I'll be happy to answer questions. We have witnesses also.
Please proceed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members. My name is Kurt Evans, and I'm with the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority, and we're supporting SB 9. The changes proposed by the bill would allow for a wider variety of transit capital projects to compete for cap-and-trade dollars under the Transit and Intercity Rail Capital Program. Large projects, small projects, bus, rail, ferry, projects that are looking for a one-time shot of money, and projects that are looking for a more sizable chunk of money allocated over multiple fiscal years, and so on. We believe SB 9 will result in a more desirable outcome for the Transit and Intercity Rail Capital Program. The reason is that if the transportation agency has a more diverse pool of projects from which to choose, it would be in a better position to maximize the total amount of reductions in greenhouse gas emissions that could be realized under the program. Respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Kirk Blackburn on behalf of the San Diego Association of Governments, SANDAG. In the interest of brevity, I'll thank the author and encourage your support of a bill that will improve long-term planning. Thank you.
Other witnesses in support?
Good afternoon. Steve Wallach on behalf of the Alameda Contra Costa Transit District. The California Association of Coordinated Transit also in support. Napa County Transportation Planning Agency is listed under opposition in the analysis. They do not oppose the bill. In fact, they'll be considering a support position at their board meeting later this week.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members, Mark Watts representing San Diego Metropolitan Transit System. We are in support. You have a letter of recognition. We had been opposed before. We just want to make sure that the author and everybody else understands we're in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Pimentel with the California Transit Association in support.
Chris Rosa on behalf of the Silicon Valley Leadership Group in support.
Mr. Chairman, I'm a bit of a tweener. Moira Top on behalf of the Orange County Transportation Authority. We had some concerns with the bill. The author has worked incredibly hard to address every single concern that we have brought forward. We think the bill is a good bill. We look forward to seeing it passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for hearing me out. Joshua Stark with Transform. We have a support if amended position, but I wanted to clarify some of the opposition that was in the analysis. As listed, the first 8 organizations, as well as NRDC, PolicyLink, Public Advocates, SAC Housing Alliance, and Safe Routes to Schools National Partnership, as well as Transform, have removed our opposition to the bill. We had earlier had an opposed unless amended position. We appreciate the author listening to us through the year and really deliberating on this and trying to develop a great proposal. We also appreciate the author's desire to connect with sustainable communities, and we encourage the author to remove the word non-state from the list of eligibility or priority given to projects. There's one section that says that to the extent a project receives additional non-state funding, and we believe by removing the word non-state, it allows regions and communities that currently don't have the ability to raise local tax measures to be able to leverage money from, for example, the Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities Program. Thank you.
Any other witnesses in opposition? To the committee, I will tell you that some of the opposition was based on the definition of the word transformative, which some felt could prejudice larger urban areas over smaller areas. So we've asked for the amendment to define transformative capital improvement as a rail, bus, or ferry transit project that will significantly reduce vehicle miles traveled and greenhouse gas emissions by creating new transit systems or increasing the capacity of existing transit systems in order to accommodate ridership growth. Actually, to be accurate, I suggested language, and the author came up with better language, which is the language that is
we all work together,
being added as the amendment. We have a motion. Motion and a second. Chair's recommendation is aye. It's due pass as amended. Please call the roll.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dally?
Aye.
Dally, aye. Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. McCarty? McCarty, aye. Rendon? Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Wood?
7 votes. Your bill is out.
Great.
Thank you,
very
Senator.
much. Thank you.
Senator Wolk, and I just for the record, members, Senator Wolk was here at the very beginning of the hearing and has come back several times since.
Yes. And then I went to Energy, which was also a long hearing. Anyway, Mr. Chair and members.
There's a motion by Stone, second by Garcia. Please proceed.
Thank you. I just want to first accept all the proposed committee amendments in the analysis on page 5 as authors amends. This is 367 is about building on and modernizing the Canella, the Sal Canella Environmental Farming Act of 1995. Yes, the father of Anthony, and he is supportive of this as well. I mean, not Anthony, his father. So this is good. This is to achieve voluntary greenhouse gas emission reductions in the state agricultural sector by developing and promoting projects and on-farm best practices that also have other benefits. Agriculture can play a key role in the reduction of GHG as well as other co-benefits. This is about the Department of Food and Ag setting up a grant program to support these on-farm demonstration projects. And I believe it's a critical role that agriculture can and should play in this area. So I have some witnesses here today. Welcome.
Thanks.
I ask for your aye vote.
Chairman, members, Pete Price. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of the Community Alliance with Family Farmers, which works with farmers to adopt sustainable farming practices and with schools and restaurants and consumers to help build local markets for those farm products. And we're a co-sponsor of SB 367, support the bill. I'll make one point real quickly and then move on. This committee in particular, the chairman last year had, in my mind, related legislation. We've focused for many years under AB 32 on industrial processes, reducing greenhouse gases from those. And now we're looking more and more at biological processes. The committee last year did a couple of bills to divert green waste and support the production of compost. And that's very related to what we're talking about here, because we want to see the agricultural sector undertake a lot of these activities that they can do to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and sequester carbon in soil. So we support the bill. Urge you yes vote.
Good afternoon. Adam Coten with the California Climate and Agriculture Network. We're a coalition of organic and sustainable agriculture organizations in California. We're pleased to co-sponsor this bill with CAF. I'll be brief. I think the major point is that we are very strongly in support of the state's climate change goals, and we really don't think that we can get there without actively engaging our farms and ranches around the state. There's a growing body of scientific evidence that's highlighted certain farm management practices that can both reduce greenhouse gas emissions and actually draw down and sequester carbon. And the USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service is doing a lot of work on these areas. They've compiled a list of practices that can demonstrably produce these climate benefits. So we're very pleased to see this bill moving forward, and note that a broad range of agricultural and environmental organizations are in support of this bill. We ask for your support as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Chair and members. Reed Addis on behalf of Carbon Cycle Institute and John Wick, the co-founder of the Marin Carbon Project. We've done the science behind this work. We think it's good policy, and we think CDFA is well equipped to implement the program. Thank you.
Just Malone for Stop Waste. We see this as a foundational move for
managing organics better.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Further witnesses and support?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mark Fenstermaker on behalf of the California Association of Resource Conservation Districts in support.
Kelly did on behalf of California League Conservation Voters and Clean Water Action in support.
Tamar Burke on behalf of the Big Sur Land Trust and the Marin Agricultural Land Trust in support. Thank you.
Juan Altamirano on behalf of Audubon, California in support.
Kim Shiner on behalf of the California Composting Coalition in support. Thank you.
Mary Solecki on behalf of Environmental Entrepreneurs, excited to support. Thank you.
Witnesses in opposition?
Good evening. Amy Mago on behalf of the California Chamber of Commerce in opposition. Cal Chamber supports cost-effective implementation of AB 32. However, the decision of the California Air Resources Board to arbitrarily withhold and sell allowances will raise billions of dollars from taxpayers, which runs contrary to the express goals of AB 32, which is to maximize benefits and minimize leakage of risks and costs. Cal Chamber has long held that CARB does not have the authority to raise revenue through the auctioning of allowances. Given the substantial legal uncertainties surrounding the auctioning of allowances, expending the proceeds is premature. Therefore, we must oppose SB 687. Thank you.
Thank you. Further witnesses in opposition? To the committee, Mr. Dolly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say, as somebody who is in agriculture, I think this is a good start to see some of that auction revenue coming to the farms. I'm a little bit nervous about some of the practices. I'm concerned that, in different parts of the state, tillage requirements and those type of things may need to be supplemented or changed because not everywhere can we just do no-till and those type of projects. I know that reduce carbon, but in some areas we need that for the right kind of planting soils. So I will be voting for your bill today, and I'll be watching how it implements. Thank you.
I'd just like to reassure you that the bill is voluntary, and we also have the Farm Bureau support statewide.
Any other comments, questions from the committee? Chair's recommendation is aye. There's been a motion and a second. Do pass as amended to appropriations.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dowling?
Aye.
Dowling, aye. Garcia? Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper? McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye. Rendon? Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Wood.
6 votes. Your bill is out. Thank you, Senator.
Mr. Chair and members.
We are nearing the end of our hearing. We need 3 more authors. Gaines, Hall, Lara. Mr. Hall?
Hello. Move the bill. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
There is a motion by Dolly, second by Garcia.
Don't talk yourself out. It feels good to be home. I will expedite the process, and I certainly understand the importance of expedience. So, Mr. Chair and members, given the time constraints of this bill being double referred, let me begin by agreeing to take the amendments referenced on page 3 of the committee analysis and comment 4 as author amendments in the Assembly Local Government Committee on Wednesday. SB 39 will grant the City of Los Angeles the ability to renew franchises, permits, and leases in the port and waterfront communities of San Pedro and Wilmington. The Port of Los Angeles and the surrounding San Pedro, Wilmington communities are closely linked to the history and commercial activity along its waterfronts. Over the years, due to an expansion in port activity and a reduction of other commercial and residential development, the waterfront area now offers only isolated areas of successful, visit-oriented commercial enterprises amidst a growing inventory of abandoned, vacant, and underutilized areas. So, in short, SB 399 will provide the City of Los Angeles with a regulatory tool to promote new waterfront-related enhancements, development, and economic opportunity while maintaining the integrity of the State Tightlands Trust. This bill will support bold actions taken by the City of Los Angeles to improve and better connect Los Angeles waterfront area to tourists and the community, generate enhanced public and private investments, promote transit use, create jobs, and increase public access to the waterfront. So this bill is promoted in closing by the City of Los Angeles. I feel like I'm in the Senate right now. by the City of Los Angeles, San Pedro Chamber of Commerce, Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce, LA Orange County Building and Construction Trades Council. I respectfully ask for your aye vote. I have Andrew Antweet here from the City of Los Angeles and Jenny Chavez, Chief of Staff to Councilman Joe Buscaino, to testify in favor and support of the bill. Thank you.
Just for the record, Dolly, he got close. 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
Boom.
He was close. He was close.
Thank you.
That's right.
Mr. Chairman and members, Andrew Antwi here on behalf of Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti and Los Angeles Council Member Buscaino, here to support and answer any questions you might have.
Any other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Nope.
Oh, sorry. Jenny Chavez, Chief of Staff for Councilman Joe Buscaino.
Thank you.
Witnesses in opposition?
Sherry Pemberton on behalf of the State Lands Commission staff. The Commission doesn't have a position on the bill and is not in opposition to the bill, but the Commission has concerns about expanding the lease term to up to 75 years for the tidelands. And the reason why the Commission is concerned or is weighing in on this is because the Commission has oversight authority over these granted public trust lands. And with ports in particular, the Commission has a long history of working collaboratively to protect the integrity of the trust. And facilitate trust-consistent waterfront development. Common thread running through all of the state's almost 75 granting statutes is a limitation on lease terms, and that's important to prevent an unconstitutional alienation of the trust lands and to ensure that the uses provide a statewide public benefit as opposed to a purely local benefit. As proposed to be amended, we think this bill would allow the city to essentially expand the maximum lease term to 75 years by including the right of renewal capped at 25 years. And while we appreciate and understand the goals of the city and the port to improve and enhance the waterfront for visitor-serving uses, we think it's poor public policy to lease the state's tidelands for 75-year periods without the ability to substantially reassess the terms. As we've also learned, older leases often don't reflect current trust needs, and old lease provisions often don't keep pace with the evolution of market rates and environmental policies and modern land and resource management principles. So it's our view that for what we would consider a normal lease purpose, like a marina or restaurant or hotel for these trust lands, is that a maximum of 66 years would be appropriate and no more than that. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments from the committee? Mr. Stone.
Because you took so long in your presentation, I'm going to have to weigh in. And I think more for this committee as a caution, what we're dealing with here are lands in public trust, and there's a legitimate statewide interest in managing those lands. I think for this issue, and I'm going to support the bill today, the port's going to be there in 75 years, and we have that conversation again. But I think we need to be careful about just saying, oh, what's the problem with extending, because we do lose control and the state does lose control with its valid interest in ensuring that tidelands are being leased under appropriate terms. For example, something that's we're dealing with now that we weren't dealing with 50 years ago is sea level rise and climate change. And as the climate's changing and the sea level is rising, these kinds of the leases and the conversations around the leases are ways that we can ensure that we're inserting into the relationships with the local jurisdictions statewide interests like dealing with sea level rise. So I think in this circumstance it's fine, but I just want to caution this committee to not be too cavalier about extending these grants. I think that's an interest we need to be very careful of.
And to be responsive to that point, it is why we asked the author to amend the bill to give the city parity with the city of Long Beach by allowing one 25-year renewal. And I know that is not quite to the State Lands Commission preferences there yet, but we'll try not to be cavalier. Would you like to close? Any other?
I just wanted to mention the very thing that you just mentioned. It's consistent with what Long Beach has, which is our neighboring city. Literally, if you were in Long Beach coming over to San Pedro, you wouldn't even know when you're crossing over, what differentiate between Long Beach. I represent Long Beach and San Pedro, and Ricardo Lara represents exclusively Long Beach, so I'll expect his statements to be for Long Beach, but I represent Long Beach and San Pedro, and he can be the diva of Long Beach, and I'll be what I am for San Pedro. Okay. So parity is important. Okay. Parity is important, but also let me just say that this does not take away any of the rights and protections that the Tightlands, the state of California, is concerned with as it relates to the Tightlands. So all those protections are still in place as well.
Ms. Garcia.
Just out of fairness, since I have the diva of Long Beach, the diva of San Pedro, I'm the diva of Bell Gardens.
And you are beautiful.
All right. I'll take that as a
That's
close.
my close. I respectfully ask your aye vote. I want to thank Council Member Joe Buscaino's Chief of Staff for coming down to testify in favor of this much-needed legislation to help improve the economic and vitality of our most southern part of the district. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair's recommendation is aye.
Dolly moved it.
Dolly moved it, and a second by Garcia.
Thank you.
As do pass as amended.
No, do pass to local government.
Do pass to local government, and the amendments will be taken there. So do pass to local government.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dolly?
Aye.
Dolly, aye. Garcia? Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Rendon? Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Wood?
Thank you.
Wood, aye. Scott, 8.
You have 8 votes. Your bill's out.
Hey, thank you so much, members. Thank you.